The views expressed during this program does not necessarily represent those of really any sane person with a brain. Listening to this program may actually kill brainwaves and make you dumber than you may already be. Listener discretion is advised. Really, because this show sucks to begin with. And hello again, everybody. Welcome to the Fantasy Fat Guys. I am Bill Powers. Yeah, that's silence. You don't hear Porterhouse. Porterhouse is on the IR this week. But together, we are the Fantasy Fat Guys. So I guess for today, the show is called the Fantasy Fat Guy. But anyway, thanks for checking us out. Lots of folks have been seeing things on Facebook, which we appreciate. Check out our Facebook page, Fantasy Fat Guys, where you can get all of our podcasts as well as some information when news breaks. We kind of pop some stuff up there, so you can go and check that out as well. And also, we've got lots of stuff. You can download the podcast at Spotify. You can also get it at Google. You can get it at Apple, etc. So go and check it out. It'd be greatly appreciated. Now, normally, you know, we go back and forth on a couple of issues and stuff like that, and we talk about other sports. There's just so much information with football. First thing we have to talk about is the ongoing issues with the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, the very, very sad story. Very, very sad story. Henry Ruggs not only operating his car at unbelievable speeds, 156 miles an hour, but he was also drunk, now facing up to 40 years in prison with new charges being added. Why? He's being charged with his girlfriend getting hurt. He also had a loaded weapon in his vehicle as well. So many things, so many questions have to be asked. Why? Why? You've got the world. You got the world at your feet. You could do anything. You've got money. You've got fame. You've got unbelievable talent. You just threw it all away. And in the process, you killed somebody. That's what makes it even worse. It's bad enough when you do something that's going to hurt yourself, you know? But you killed somebody. All of a sudden, these players come into a lot of money. Sometimes they get into bad situations. In this particular case, out having too much fun. You got to be responsible. There's no excuse for this. This guy has destroyed lives, not including his own. Not to mention what he's done to his team, to the league, so many things. Part of the problem with these guys, in a lot of cases, they come from nothing. They work hard, they get a football scholarship, they go to school, they get into the NFL, and then they don't know how to react. All of a sudden, they've got a lot of money. And then this happens. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Now, this man is going to face 40 years in life, 40 years in prison, possibly, and a woman is dead. A mom and dad lost their daughter. Brother lost his sister. People lost their aunts and uncle. So wrong. For no reason. And why? Why do you have a loaded gun in your car? That doesn't even make any sense at all. I don't care if it's legal to have it in Nevada. Why do you have a live gun, a loaded gun in your car? I mean, I don't get it. I mean, and I don't want to hear from NRA people saying, he's allowed to have a gun in his car. He's a 22-year-old kid. All it means is trouble. And, he has, a bit of a tough past as well. So why would you put yourself in that position? So here we are. Ex-Raider Henry Ruggs, 40 years in prison he's facing. And a family has lost somebody they love very dearly. Very sad story. Very sad story. Of course, the other story is the Aaron Rodgers stuff. Aaron Rodgers came down with COVID. It's going to happen. Listen, nothing you can do about that. But he's unvaccinated. That's okay. There's unvaccinated players. But he tried to mislead everybody by saying that he was taking things that, by the way, nobody has said is works. CDC says it doesn't work, but he's taking these things. I get all this stuff about your body, your choice. I'm not arguing that in any way, shape, or form. He chose not to get vaccinated. But he also chose not to follow the protocols. he also chose to lie to the press. I'm sorry, mislead the press. They asked if he was vaccinated. He said yes, and he's not. I don't care if, he's saying, well, my team knew. It doesn't matter. You are a leader. You're also a part of the Players Association. You're one of the people who looked at the contracts and stuff. So you know what the rules are. You know what you got to do. In a lot of cases around the country now, like the government has mandated that you must get a shot, no matter what, or you lose your job. The NFL gave you a choice, which unfortunately is not being given to everybody. They said you don't have to be vaccinated. You have to go through testing. You have to, wear a mask. You have to do a lot of things. Every time he was at a press conference, never wore a mask. Every time he was interviewed on the field, never wore a mask. On the sidelines in the field, never wore a mask. All things you're supposed to do if you're not vaccinated. He chose not to follow the protocols. And now he misleads people, and now he's placing blame on the woke community and being shamed. I'll tell you what, Carson Wentz isn't being shamed. Carson Wentz is not vaccinated. He says religiously it's against his beliefs. You know what Carson Wentz is doing? He's getting tested every week. He's wearing his mask when he doesn't have to on the sidelines. He wears his mask to press conferences. He wears his mask when he's in the building doing anything. Why? Those are the protocols. So don't sit here and play the victim, okay? Aaron Rodgers is playing the victim. This is not about vax, unvaxxed. Everybody has their choice. Well, unfortunately, in this country, they're taking that away. But in the NFL, you have a choice. He chooses not to get vaccinated. Don't lie. Don't mislead. And now don't blame everybody else but yourself. Not to mention what you can do to your teammates. You put all of your teammates at risk. Okay? You're supposed to be the leader of this team. You're a leader in the NFL. One of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game in the NFL, arguably. Don't lie. Don't mislead. So I don't want to say he's lying because, people say, well, he misled. Okay? Doesn't matter. Shameful. Shameful. And I know some of you are going to argue and say, well, he's got his choice. He can do whatever he wants. But I'm not saying that. That's not the argument. The argument is that he intentionally misled. He's supposed to be a leader. A leader that any kind of respect I had for him, gone. Personally. My personal opinion. You may think differently. Good for you. We all have opinions. Just like assholes, we all have opinions, okay? That's just the way it is. But anyway, lots of crazy stuff, man. Lots of crazy stuff. More guys going on. The other thing to talk about, Odell. Odell Beckham Jr. is now, actually, I believe he's going to be a free agent as of Monday, okay? It's Saturday. So we already missed Thursday's game, which we'll talk about briefly. But it is now Saturday. Essentially what happened, his old man shot video, or took video, essentially tried to make Baker Mayfield look bad, saying that it's all Baker Mayfield's fault that Odell is not getting the ball. Could be it partially. But his father comes out, puts out the video, makes a statement. And then Baker Mayfield came out and said, I don't know where this is coming from. I get along with Odell. Maybe we're not clicking on the field as much as we need to. And then Odell just says nothing. He shuts up. Gets kicked off of the campus for the Browns. And says nothing. I got to tell you, this has nothing to do with anything but Odell, as per usual. You take away that one-handed catch that Odell made, what else has he done? Super talented guy. But he's got a huge ego. And quite frankly, he has not backed it up in his career in any way, shape, or form. I'm a huge Giant fan. The best thing Dave Gettleman could have done, and probably the only good thing he has done, is getting rid of Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham is just a problem. Certain players back up, the hype. He's not backing it up at all. The worst part is he doesn't go in and say, listen, Baker, I'm sorry. My dad put this out or anything like that. No, totally silent. Doesn't talk to the coaches. Totally silent. These are what the reports are, by the way. So obviously I'm not there. I can't prove it. But not even talking about it. As it turns out, all of this happens right on Monday, Tuesday. at this point, too late to try to trade Odell Beckham to any kind of a team. Basically, they forced the Cleveland Browns to release him. Why would anybody pick up that contract? There's no reason for it. No reason to put that money on your ledger. Now, he's on waivers. Somebody will claim him, get him for nothing. Nothing. Actually, he went through waivers, but so they're going to just get rid of him. So now he's a free agent. Anybody could pick him up. The Browns will pay the salary. He's going to get paid again, so he's going to double dip with whatever team he's with. I believe there's something in his contract he worked out so he'd be a free agent at the end of the year. And then he's going to try to get paid again. Odell, you are a joke. You are a joke. You are everything that's bad with sports. Greedy. Don't care about your teammates. Don't care about anybody but yourself. A couple of teams are looking at him. Some people have said the Giants should go and get him. Nah, absolutely not. And quite frankly, I heard Seattle, might be in the mix. Why? You're going to obviously things are kind of a mess in Seattle right now without Russell Wilson there. Geno Smith is a joke, although the joke had a great game last week after I sat Tyler Lockett. Big mistake on my part, by the way. But you've got DJ Metcalf, you got Tyler Lockett, you got decent receivers. Why are you going to bring this clown in? You're not. Unless you have no desire to win. Why would you want him? Now, non-contenders can get him. I tell you, one place that might look good for him, New Orleans. New Orleans doesn't have a steady stream of talented players at the skilled positions other than Kamara. That might be the place to go. But now Jameson Winston's out. Or is it Marcus Simeon is the quarterback again this week? Only because Taysom Hill is still recovering from a concussion. So maybe that might not be the best place for him, at least personally. Although New Orleans can use him, I don't know. But Odell Beckham, one of the many things that's wrong, gives the good players, the people who care about their teammates, people who care about the game, people who respect the game, gives them a bad name. That's all I have to say about that. Odell, you suck. Personal opinion. Everybody else could have other opinions, but for now, that's what we got. So, looking at last week in our fantasy league, because hey, you have to know that we do play fantasy. I got my ass kicked by my son. It wasn't even competitive. I lost 156 to 77, and to be fair, Tyler Lockett, I sat him because Geno Smith, he hasn't done anything. He had 3 points the week before. Tyler Lockett explodes for 29. Then you got Jalen Hurts, my quarterback, who's had, even though he's not a great quarterback, great fantasy numbers. I think he had like 11 points. Kills me. And then I have Emmanuel Sanders in there because I'm afraid to play Tyler Lockett. And at the last second, I took out Kadarius Toney, which was a good move. Sanders puts up a goose egg. So essentially, I got my ass kicked by my son. And let's take a look real fast. Our buddy Porterhouse, he was victorious in a big way. He won 138 to 102. So good job by him. Now, this week, I am going up against Porterhouse. Should be an interesting matchup. So far, I am winning. I am up 41 to nothing. Why is that? Well, because I've got Jonathan Taylor. Had an unbelievable game against the Jets. Quickly, let's get back to the Jets. I went to the game on Sunday against the Bengals. Who the heck is this guy? Mike White. Out of nowhere. Small school. Nobody really knew anything about him. Comes out, passes for over 400 yards, leads the team to victory against a very good team. What was that all about? To be fair, I don't watch the Jets a lot, okay? My son's a Jet fan. I went to the game with him. First thing he noticed is all of the, short passes, the option passes they're throwing, the screen passes they're throwing. Right off the bat, little razzle-dazzle they did as well. They gave him a chance to succeed, in my son's words.